Fishing like a local isn't just about catching fish. It's about connecting with the environment and the people who call it home. It's about hearing the stories and traditions that have been passed down for generations and sharing unforgettable moments with the people you meet along the way. Fishing like a local is having an experience that stays with you forever. And with Fishing Booker, you can experience it too, no matter where you are. Discover your next adventure on Fishing Booker.
This upcoming concert season will be all about the boots, and Tecovas is your stop for the best in Western style. Tecovas has seasonal and limited edition offerings this spring and summer, including men's and women's boots, apparel, hats, bags, and more. All Tecovas boots are made by hand in a time-honored tradition with timeless styles that are always on trend. And Tecovas has first wear comfort with little to no break-in period. It's hard to find this level of comfort paired with this level of style. Stop by your local Tecovas store, have a complimentary drink or two, that's WCB style, and shop new styles. The smell of fresh leather and friendly staff are at your service. Many stores even have leather custom branding to make your boots truly personalized. And with regular live music and events, there's no in-store experience like it. If you can't make it into a store, just visit tecovas.com. That's TECOVAS.com. They offer free shipping on all boots, as well as free returns and exchanges, and ship right to your door. Go to tecovas.com and find your new favorite pair of boots today.
It's done.
Connor McDavid! It's not real!
The goal of the year,
Panarin!
part of the past. The celebrations, forgotten. The history,
Vegas Golden Knights!
history. We're back to a blank slate. Clean ice. All that matters now is what happens next. The Stanley Cup playoffs.
Eastern Conference Final begins Wednesday.
Alright, welcome back to the Survival and Basic Badass podcast. Kevin and Chuck. Today we're going to talk about winter survival. Basically preparing your car, how to deal with your house when the power goes out, basically how to stay warm when it's cold. Hopefully you all had a nice Christmas, nice holiday, and now you're ready to get back to prepping.
Yeah, I think this show is a lot about survivalism.
All right.
I know we do a lot about that. I like to get out there and freeze my ass off a little bit.
You do?
Yeah. With the winter months setting in and the snow falling, it's good to make sure you dress with your layers and have your vehicle prepared.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine sent me a picture of off the peaks of one of the mountains around here of sunrise. So apparently this crazy asshole got out there in the dark and climbed to the top of the mountain that's coated in ice. But, sounds like a good time to me.
Yeah, exactly. That sounds like a win. But, I mean, things like that happen. We have, you go hunting. You shoot a deer. It's late in the day. You start dressing it out. All of a sudden it's dark. You're like, shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to make it back tonight.
Yeah.
And, sometimes things like that happen. I just actually took a road trip with the family. And we went upstate. Now, to some of you, we live upstate because we're 90 minutes maybe north of the city. But I'm talking about really upstate, like another 4 or 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Or 3 or 4, whatever. And drive out, and it's a snowstorm. And we're coming back, and my truck that never fails me and always does me right, somehow the heater gets a little questionable.
Mm-hmm.
I think, how that shit gets, you have the heater core.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, as your truck gets older, it starts to rust apart, and that sediment and rust starts to block it up so that the radiator fluid doesn't go through there so well anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had about half the heat of what I should have. And the problem is freezing rain and sleet coming down, and I can't keep my windshield warm enough. And my wipers are freezing up solid and a big pain in my ass. And I pull over at the rest area, and I get out, and there's black ice everywhere, and I'm slipping on my ass.
Mm-hmm.
I break up everything. I had to take the kids' presents. I opened it up and took the cardboard box that like clothing comes in,
Mm-hmm.
threw it on my radiator. It was like, well, if I freaking cook my radiator, it'll warm everything up.
Yeah.
Broke up the ice, another 5 miles of shit, and then everything cleared up, and it was nice. But my
Started
point
overheating your engine to keep you warm.
is, you got to have your priorities.
Right.
But point is, well, the truckers do it, right? You always see the garbage trucks or the whatever with the big cardboard on the grill.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so my point is, you never know when something's going to turn to shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it doesn't take a lot for things to just
Right.
turn bad.
And cold is a killer. You know?
Is.
It's not a pleasant way to go. It's not a pleasant experience when you just have to, suffer through it.
No.
Hypothermia is not pleasant.
Eventually you go, no. It
Yeah.
kind of burns for a while, though. It kind of sucks. They're
You know
like,
what
the burning is good. It's when you don't feel the burning.
Yeah, I was just reading an article. Snowfalls in the Sahara.
Yeah.
First time in 37 years snow
I heard
fell in
that.
the desert there.
I did hear that.
Yeah, so it's happening everywhere, man.
Global warming.
Global warming.
All
Now,
right.
you lose your body heat 5 major ways.
All right.
Breathing, respiration, you got your hot air going out, cold air coming in. Radiation, just the heat that's escaping your body from your skin. Perspiration. When you get working, you have to be careful of that in the snow and the cold.
All right. Yeah.
You know, you get out there and you're hiking and you're moving and you start to sweat.
It's your body
and then
sweating
you
to
take
cool
a
you
break,
down.
and
then you're
that's
freezing.
it, man.
So don't take a break is what you're
Don't
telling
take a
me.
break.
All
Don't
right.
sweat though.
Oh.
You can take a break if you haven't started sweating yet, or if you're just starting to break a sweat. Maybe it's time to slow things down. Conduction. That's when you touch cold things. You know, when you're out there touching cold metal and you're out there trying to cut cardboard and fit it on your radiator out in the cold. And convection. That's basically wind chill, is what that is. Wind chill can really cut through you. I know if you've ever been out in the cold, freezing your ass off, and the wind picks up, it's miserable, you know? So it's good to have one of your layers be something that helps stop the wind flow. You know, breathable cotton is not great as an outer layer.
You know, I did see, I don't know if I mentioned this last week, and then I'm an asshole if I'm repeating myself, but I saw a Walmart ad. Now, mind you, somebody put it up on Facebook. There is a chance that it's not an official Walmart ad, but it did say, due to the colder weather, you might want to double up on pajama bottoms. And that's just good advice right there.
Good.
I know when you're wearing the sweatpants or something like that, which I don't wear sweatpants out in public unless I'm running. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
no, I have friends that do that, and I look down on them.
And I'm like, what?
Distastefully.
But the wind cuts through, and you freeze your ass off.
Yeah.
So I have to say you're right on point with, the breathable cotton.
Yeah.
Is not a win if it's your only layer. Now, if it's your inside layer...
Right. It's a good insulator, but it's not a great outer layer.
It's going to help you with the outer layer, and you need something that's going to protect you from the wind.
And I'm a big proponent of wool socks. I got wool socks for Christmas. I buy wool socks when I'm out. I wear them almost every day when it's cold weather like this.
I think wool socks are right.
Now, 2 ways your body produces heat. Movement is one.
All right.
You know, if you're freezing, don't lay down. Keep your body moving. Keep things going. And the other way your body produces heat is metabolizing food. Calories are also great for when you're moving. Don't be afraid. If you're out in the cold, don't be afraid to eat a candy bar. You know, sugar, that sort of stuff there's nothing wrong with that when you're out there and your body's trying to keep your body warm. So load up on that sort of stuff if you got it available. Now, have you ever had frostbite?
think I have had frostbite. Now, what I'm told is, or are you going to give me a
No,
description?
go ahead.
What I'm told is that the blood vessels are freezing. And it's hurting both when they freeze and the blood vessels might burst, or also when they freeze and expand, and then when they thaw, you end up getting
I think
the intense pain.
Most frostbite starts as freezing between layers of skin.
Okay.
And starts that way, separating your skin. Basically, what's happening is the moisture is crystallizing and pulling your skin apart, and then it starts working into, further and further in. If you want to go online and look up pictures of frostbite,
I recommend no.
I've already done it.
And
I've done it for you. You don't have to.
There's some things that you can't unsee.
Yeah, I only had a small patch of frostbite on one of my toes one time.
Okay.
And it was unpleasant.
It's unpleasant.
It's an unpleasant thing to do, and it's not,
it's not pleasant to look at.
Your body, yeah.
It is damaging.
So here's some frostbite ideas here. Don't rub the area. If you've got frostbite and it's already started, you're just going to do more damage. Don't thaw out or try and warm up frostbite if there's a possibility of it getting frozen again. Because the freezing and unfreezing and freezing...
It's worse?
That's worse.
All right.
That's worse. Don't walk on frostbitten feet if you can help it. But if your choice is thaw it out and walk and then risk freezing it again, fuck it. Just walk on that. What you want to do is remove all your wet clothes. Remove any sort of jewelry that might constrict blood flow. And you're going to want to slowly dry it up, or warm it up, like water that's 99, 100 degrees, something like that, just around body temperature. You want to take it slow.
You don't want to overdo it.
No.
All right, now actually one of the things that I had read was if you take your little finger and your opposing thumb and you try and touch them together, if you can accurately line it up and hit them, you're doing all right. If you're having trouble with that, that means that the circulation in your hand and your fingers have already kind of gone away. Mm-hmm. And that's a sure sign that you're pretty much fucked.
Right.
In case you didn't know. Because you were like, shit, I'm out here, I don't know what to do, and I'm fucked.
Yep. And it's easy, when hypothermia sets in, it's easy to get confused. Right. Your brain is not working the way it's supposed to be. The blood is focusing on the internal organs, and you start making stupid decisions.
I did see an article in Field and Stream. It was actually on their online stuff. And it said, according to research coordinators in southwestern Montana, those who perish in the woods have a remarkably similar pattern of behavior. Mm-hmm. It says hunters lose the trail, then invariably climb to try and gain a vantage point. Still unsure, they meander in corkscrew patterns, turning in circles before panicking and plunging blindly downhill, discarding rifles, packs, and even clothing in their haste. When searchers find them, the victims are sometimes in their underwear, face down in the snow. Mm-hmm. Most even before disrobing were ill-prepared.
Yeah. Well,
this is a pattern that reoccurs.
Well, the last period of hypothermia before death is your body panics, and it sends the blood out to the outside of your skin.
And then you're hot.
And all of a sudden you feel hot, even though your body temperature has dropped.
All right.
And so you start pulling clothes off. If you ever get the urge to yank your clothes off
and lay down
freezing your
naked in
ass
the snow,
yeah, don't do that.
That's not right.
That's a bad idea.
All right. So I like that, see, I'm tying it together. You see how I was able to fit that in there? You like that?
Now, another one of the things that a lot of people don't notice is dehydration.
Yes.
That happens, just as easily out in the cold as it does in the heat.
My chickens will agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
But also because their water keeps freezing and I don't really want to go change it.
You got to get one of those heating pans, man. I have a neighbor up the street was just telling me he's got this heating pan for his the water for the random cats that roam through his yard.
Oh, what a clown.
So you need to keep hydrated. Keep drinking your water. You end up with headaches and confusion, that sort of thing. You need to keep the water going, even though you don't feel like you're sweating. You know. Now, let's talk about cold weather sleeping.
Ooh, not to bite.
When you're out in the
Not to bite.
Well, I mean, hey, listen. Different strokes, man. Different strokes. Some people would rather freeze. That's all right. I respect that decision.
All right.
But you want to, if you're outdoors, I've done quite a few trips out, sleeping out in the woods after a snowstorm or in a snowstorm or in an ice storm.
Right.
You're going to want to make sure you have a barrier between you and the ground. Because that's
the insulation,
the conductive, how you're going to lose a lot of conductive heat. That's, you're going to want to, if you don't have anything else, you can use pine branches and put them between you and the snow.
It's a good time to break out the tarp, a lot of the things. Pine branches, the pitch from the trees, it helps.
Now it's good to keep, I like to keep those warm packs. You know what I'm talking about? You take them out of the package, shake them up, they heat up.
Yep.
They don't do so great if you stick them in your sock and go to sleep because they need air to keep moving, but they're better than nothing. Good quality sleeping bag. If you're going to be out in that sort of weather, that's mandatory. You want to have some sort of a tent too. Obviously, you don't want snow falling on you while you're sleeping.
That's ideal, but remember,
That's
as we learned from Star Wars, you may have to cut an animal open and climb inside.
Yep. That's why I like
always
to have
an
fat
option.
friends.
You want to cut that moose because obviously you got that moose right there.
Mm-hmm.
You can't find your way back home, but damn if you can't shoot a moose.
Yep. I'll tell you what, though, before you climb in your sleeping bag, make sure you take a piss, because you're not going to be happy that you're in there for a half hour and realize you got to take a piss and you got to get out of that warm sleeping bag. Not a pleasant experience. Now, that's most of what I got here.
Right.
As far as dressing properly, knowing how to build a shelter.
Knowing how to start a fire.
We've done a show about that. Starting a fire. Those are all important things.
Tinder, lighter, dry kindling. These things are important.
And don't be an asshole.
Oh, see?
Don't be an asshole. Don't do stupid shit.
I'm always like, yeah, got this. And then, no, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what else I can bring to the table here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see. You just expect me to know shit.
Stupid shit? Oh.
Stupid shit?
Yeah, but it's, this time of year, it's really important to keep an eye on that. People say you lose 90% of your heat out of your head from not wearing a hat.
Yeah.
Well, that's just fucking stupid. Go walk around barefoot out there and see where all the heat goes.
I've had a problem with that.
It's good to have a hat, had gloves, but, the main thing you want to do is keep everything that's coming into contact with other things. If you're outside, working with your hands, have some gloves. Put some insulation between your fingers and your tools. Same thing with boots. Have insulated boots. It's worth spending the money if you spend any time outdoors. It's worth having the wool socks. If anytime you're wearing boots, you ought to be wearing wool socks, honestly, unless it's you're in the Bahamas or Bermuda or something,
And then remember, you always have a chance in the cold. The cold seems like, I'm going to die, it's awful. What was it, the water survival one where we talked about that guy who swam ashore in Norway or something and his ship sank? And,
right.
Just keep fighting.
Yeah.
Hanging in there.
It's one of those things you have to keep
Didn't we
pushing.
learn from Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic?
Yes.
Well, wait, maybe he let...
Yeah, no, he died.
He died.
There was enough room for two on that thing.
There were two.
You didn't have to die. Oh, Jack.
Jack. But, that's the thing. It's honestly having something to focus on. Having, honestly, preparing beforehand.
Right.
It's really better. Letting somebody know where you're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Those are great,
Right. And it's important to have somebody with you. You know what I mean? And when you start getting hypothermia, you get confused and you do stupid shit.
I mean, how often...
Have somebody know where you're at.
Yeah. How often do you hear these stories about, you know, the car that ran off the road and just nobody even knows or sees and for days. And, you know, if you're trapped, whatever, or, you know, who knows? So, plan ahead, do a little, you know, let people know.
Let people know
have
where
the
you're going to be at.
survival stuff in your car, you know? Be like my wife and have the sleeping bag in the car.
Yep.
Have the 3-day survival food bag in there. You know, these things matter. They make the difference between life and death.
Yeah, and I think I talked about it a couple weeks ago. I got these cleats for my boots.
Yep. I think you mentioned it.
Something like that is handy to have and keeps you from falling on your ass.
You know what I saw a guy put together, and this sounds kind of desperate to me, and I don't really see it panning out, but a guy took pine branches, undid his shoelaces, and made snowshoes out of it to give him the surface area.
Yeah.
You know? Hey, maybe it'll save you in a pinch.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
interesting.
not. Maybe you'll be like, what the hell? I just wasted all this time. What was that guy talking about?
I got these big
I got
pine
freaking-
boughs all covered in clumped in snow, and I can't fucking move.
You know, that happens. But whatever.
Whatever.
What is going on in the news this week? We got anything?
Oh, yeah, I think we were talking about a couple things. One was exciting, was the snow falling in the Sahara. I was very excited about that because we were doing this show.
Yeah.
The other one is Trump being a crazy asshole again.
It happens.
He's talking about expanding nuclear weapons, very important.
I heard he did
We don't have
have
enough
some
bombs.
kind of reckless tweeting going on. You know, it worked for Reagan.
That's right. Now I fully support
Anything the
pumping
Gipper
up
did.
the military base. Fully support that. I don't know that we use nuclear bombs often enough that we need to be boosting up on
No,
them.
we haven't used all the other ones up.
No, there's still hundreds out there. A lot of
Alright.
shopping malls, it turns out.
Shopping malls?
That's a joke. I don't know where they are.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're courting danger there a little bit, so you guys better watch out.
Yep.
And if you think we know something,
Mm.
then watch
The
out.
Chinese do. They're watching us. I'm
Chinese.
positive. I'm positive of this.
I'm
Did I
just
tell you
saying,
that
if you're in the Mall of America and you hear a little rumbling,
Did I tell you that we did that show on China?
we did.
And then I was calling my cable company, and they were saying, "Yeah, I see you watch a lot of you have Cantonese speakers in your house." I said, "No, what the hell are you
mentioned it.
talking about?" They said, "Yeah, you have all these Cantonese channels," and I was like, "I don't know how, but I know they did it. I know they did it. It was somehow they're trying to tap into my internet history, and somehow that ended up being that way.
All right.
They're out to get us.
They're out.
I have friends that are Chinese, and they're not bad people. They just have a crazy government. Socialism doesn't work, man. I used to have a grandfather.
Yes.
He passed away, but
You had one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Okay.
not my grandfather anymore.
All right.
But he was just a mean son of a bitch from World War II, and he always told me he was the least racist person I know. But when it came to Asians, he'd always tell me never trust a slanty eye. I always thought that was kind of fucked up, but I guess you have different life experience.
Maybe they shouldn't be downloading our podcast all the freaking time.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm seeing a pattern.
Yeah. They're out there. Anyway,
I don't
back
know. I
to,
think my grandfather always was telling me that you can't buy a Japanese car. He'd be like, "Oh, Mitsubishi, they made the freaking Zeros that got us in Pearl Harbor," and then I think he'd grab me by the ankle and drag me around on the rug until I looked like a freaking raspberry. That's what I remember.
because you had a Mitsubishi.
But what can I tell you? What were you gonna-
No, that's it.
That's it.
That's all I got for this. So,
Great.
when it comes to winter survival, it's important to be prepared. Do your research. Watch the weather. Know what you're going out into. When you wake up and you run outside to start your car and it's in your shorts and it's 5 degrees, you should have known that the day before. you should be paying attention. You know, if you go out to leave for work and you don't wake up till the last minute and then you go outside and there's a foot of snow on the ground, that's your fault.
And so maybe like the same guy also might want to start his car a little early, get the ice off the window.
Yeah. Yeah. Pay attention, man.
All right.
It's the best way to stay safe with cold weather is really being prepared. It's not necessarily what you can do after the fact. You know, there's little tricks and little tips, but for the most part, you know, cold kills. You know, be ready for it. Mother Nature's a bitch.
All right. With that, check us out on Facebook. Prepping Badass on YouTube. Maybe head over to Patreon. Throw us a little love.
Mm-hmm.
If not, shoot us an email. Tell us what you think we should be doing. Preppingbadass@gmail.com. And you know what? Maybe you guys come back on the iTunes. Leave a review. The reviews help other people find us and push us up there.
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe.
Subscribe, click the link, and maybe tell your friends. Otherwise, stay safe, and we will talk to you guys next week.